Everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. My name's Jim. Welcome to the podcast that has no name. I've been sitting here trying to rack my brain what to talk about and what to do. And I've been trying to get my studio conformed and figured out, and it's been more of a challenge than I thought. My dad's been ill. I've been dealing with that as well. But I wanted to get on here and try to be consistent to put some content out every single week. So I've done a couple videos, some shorts, so I've been productive. So what I thought I'd go over today is a couple things. One is knives. And obviously I'm big on the knives and the gun thing. But this is the Bosti Chaos. This is the most expensive knife that I purchased. You guys that aren't watching, it's a pretty hefty knife. It's huge. I haven't weighed it yet. I keep saying I'm going to get the scale out. I haven't done it. So I've been trying to reconfigure everything here on the desk. And for you guys that are watching, I'll bring up something here. Let me see if I can do this right. So I've got my overhead working pretty good now, although I still have the computer in it to some degree, and I'm trying to move it out of the scene, but I'm having a challenge doing that. I guess I can bring the screen in just a bit. And that's not too bad. See what you guys think of that, if you think that works. Can you read that okay? Kubi. I also got in the Jetstream from Tempest. These blades that he does is pretty big. The profile's tall is what I'm trying to say. But I love the quality. And I call these semi production runs, even though they don't number them. I wish he did. Now, this flipper, you got to be very precise with, but it's shutty. I mean, it does everything I want it to do. I can't whole flip it, so I'm not even going to try. But that's what I've been doing this week. I've got a bunch of knives. I got to get my inventory. I feel compelled at my age to get some things done. I've been working on my gun inventory. And since 2020, 21-ish, apparently I've bought about 11 guns and built a couple, 2 or 3. And they need to be added to the inventory. And I need to do that, but I've been pretty lazy. Let's put me back on full screen. You know, I apologize I don't have a topic. I would really appreciate it if you guys would start chiming in, the few people that I've got listening. The email is WD as in Delta, T as in Tom. So it's Whiskey Delta Tom, mailbox at gmail.com. And that's for the podcast. And I would read your questions online. I hope to have some contests coming up and some things as well. Still going to keep this to around 15 minutes. I haven't seen any real reason to expand upon that unless I happen to get some people in here that will actually interact and do interviews. And I'm going to start pursuing that after the first of the year. I've got to get through this month with my dad and everything else. So that's my concentration right now. I still have the pets in the room with me, so you're going to bear with me on that. I don't know if you guys can hear the bird chirping and the dogs barking from time to time. But I just want this to be a laid-back kind of thing. But I would love to have questions and more input from you guys on what we can talk about. And I'm going to be doing the live streams. And maybe that's the avenue that I wind up going down to pursue, because I really like to get the interaction with people. So we'll see what happens with that. This damn laptop is relatively new, so they send me crap all the time. You know, do this, do that. I don't know if you guys can hear the beeping and so forth that goes on. I was going to try to show you another camera angle. Let's see here. And add to stage. I'm using, what's it called? StreamYard. And I'm really happy with it. I'm over here now. But I got this all figured out where it's pretty good. You guys that are just listening can't see it. But it's taken a lot of time for this old guy to figure out all this stuff and get it working. during the live stream, we'll try to have a portable camera. I've got this Canon that I'm going to try to leave it portable so I can scan stuff and do stuff around the room. I've got a 10-foot long HDMI cord that will be on there as well. I like the format of We Like Shooting. I don't know if you guys have seen that podcast or not, but there's cast members ranging from 3 to 4 people in it. And at first I thought it was goofy and stupid, and I've been watching some video content of some knife guys, and I think they're goofy and stupid too, and I'm definitely goofy and stupid. So I'm thinking maybe people will watch this. I have got up to about 480 some odd subscribers to my YouTube channel. I don't know how to really govern the podcast and see how I'm doing with that. I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know that any of these will provide a revenue stream. I'm not banking on that. That's not my motivation. But I'd be curious how it all works. You know what I mean? But shit, I'll probably die before that happens. And I'll be sitting here. Maybe my wife will get the money, the $2 or $3 that I bring in. There was some page somebody said you can go to and look up how you're doing and how some other content creators are doing. And these knives apparently had a short or a video that went viral, 20 million views or something crazy. And apparently his revenue from that was in the 6 figures. And I went to that page to see how I'm doing. I think it said I was somewhere between some change, like 65 or 70 cents to $150. And I think that's lifetime is the way that works. So I'm not sure what the web page is. I'll try to remember it for the next time, but it was pretty funny. So yeah, I've got the 2 cameras working pretty good. So I can look at you guys over here. Let's eliminate that and go back to full screen on this one. And like I said, what few people are watching, I really genuinely appreciate it. But I've also picked up some other knives. I've got some junk knives too. I picked up this, what's it called? Arkey, Arkey. And I thought it was an interesting knife looking, but it has a great blade shape on it. I need to strop it, but it's a little hokey in the center thickness wise. I don't think they did any milling on it. Well, there's a little bit in there. Let's see if it's straight. Yeah, it's lined up pretty nice as well. Flips good. I haven't done the thumb. Yeah, the thumb flips as well. Really good. Cool knife. But, you know, I got this Cricket that I bought way back when on eBay for 10 or 15 bucks. It's a Vortex, Vortex, little red guy. And I use this more than I use any of them because, to be quite honest with you, a $250 knife is not going to go in my pocket, guys. It's going to go in my collection. This Jetstream, same way with it. It's going to go in my collection. It definitely won't be seen in my pocket. Although I know that the creators of those knives intend them to be used, and I'm more of a collector, I guess, than anything else. So I just put them in the cabinet and forget about them. I collect guns as well. I have quite an extensive collection. My goal is to start taking some cameras to the range and shooting some videos and doing some reviews. And a lot of the guns I got are old. So my content thought was, especially the you guys watching, and I don't know, there's some rules about live streaming that you can't actually hold a gun, but I see the guys doing it on We Like Shooting all the time. So I don't know one way or the other. Gun talk, they're taboo in it, going, you can't do that. That's another podcast that I listen to. But I have a lot of older guns because I've been collecting such a long time, and I think people would be interested in some of the older guns and what they're like and how they operate. there's some pretty neat ones that I've got that people don't have. I have a Whitney, which is a very unusual gun. I have a Hog 9, which is a double stacked subcompact 9mm basically. And what's funny about that gun is that, you know, they all the new like STIs and the double stack 1911s, the 2011s, I guess is what they're called. You know, that was all a big thing. Well, this gun was out long before anybody thought of that stuff. So I don't remember exactly when the gun was built, but I would suspect it was in the early 90s or maybe even earlier. If I got that data, it's in my database because I do collect that if I can get it. And that's another thing I want to go over is how do you guys catalog and do your collections? I use Excel and I've written a pretty nice, for lack of a better term, program, but it's got a master spreadsheet of everything that I can sort with filters. And then everything else has got a photograph and a catalog, picture and information. The knives are quite simplified compared to what I do with the guns in terms of I just put a rough value on the knives and just call it a day. Basically what I've got in them. And then when somebody's got to get rid of them when I croak or whatever, they'll have some idea what was in it. But the guns, I have what I paid and what book is now because they have actually escalated in price. And I feel like some of these will too, because let's say this chaos that they don't expand upon this and keep making it, this will become what I consider a semi-custom. But if he's going to come out with it and keep doing it every year, and then if he does a V2 or a V3 or whatever, this one will just go up in value. And this is all titanium. It doesn't have the spiffy, you know, colored stuff on it. I got the plain Jane. I bought the least expensive one that I could buy, to be honest with you. And I was lucky to get it because they were sold out. And then I went someplace, White Mountain Knives or Smoky Mountain Knives or someplace, wound up with them. And I guess it was a delayed release with, you know, them. But I kind of got buyer's remorse on it in general. And then I kind of like the black one with the gold accents. But that's just not my style. It seemed a little gaudy to me. I won't buy anything with a gun with gold on it, with the exception of the 1911 I purchased, which was a Kimber 10mm. And I just wanted that particular model and kind, but they only had it in the gold barrel, which is something I don't really care for, but bought it anyway. So with all that said, I've rambled on here enough that I've probably bored you guys to freaking tears, and I apologize for that. But basically, this is an old guy rambling. Let me give you a few words of advice as you get older. Don't trust a fart. Don't pass up a bathroom because you never know when you got to go. So those are the two best pieces of advice I can give you as being an old man. The other thing is look for me on YouTube, What Dugan Thinks. Instagram, I'm working on photographs for that as well. I love taking pictures of the knives and guns and things. I've got some ideas. I'm going to put the light box back up and start taking some more pictures now that I've got this kind of squared away and working good. So my next experiment's definitely going to be the live stream. Be looking for that very soon. I'd say at least in the next week or so. I do have some commitments next week that are going to keep me pretty busy. I see the neuro guy on Friday, so that's going to be a nervous day for me. But What Dugan Thinks on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, which I'm not a big fan of, but I do post a few things up there. And of course, on the podcast here, you can just look up with, I'm going to say it quiet, Alexa. She even knows about my podcast. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it, guys. See you next Monday. Now let's see how we shut this down. I look like an idiot, right? Have a great week.